For our group project, Mike, Jackie, Tyra, and I decided to redesign the everyday cereal box.
For our project, we decided to improve the cereal box to make it easier and more comfortable to use. According to Men's Health magazine, the average American eats more than 160 bowls of cereal in a year. The Encyclopedia of Business went further to indicate that this is about 10 pounds of cereal per person per year, which adds up to 2.7 billion packages of cereal sold in grocery stores annually. Currently on the market, there is exactly one standard cereal box opening and closing mechanism for customers to choose from. This current design leads to problems such as breaking tabs, boxes not closing, and cereal going stale before shortly after its opening. The purpose of this redesign is to improve user satisfaction and usability.
The article, The Mysteries of the Cereal Box, The Complicated History of How a Cereal Box Closes, discussed the common struggles of cereal boxes that have a perforated slot at the top of the box that is meant to be used for reclosing the box for reuse. The slots were often too fragile, so the moment that slightly too much pressure is applied to the slot, the top flap and/or the slot rips, and then the tab cannot be placed in the slot anymore to close the box properly. When the box cannot close anymore, the cereal cannot stay fresh for as long as if the box was closed properly. Improvements with the dimensions of certain aspects of the box, such as the width and the tabs, can be made, but the cereal box is still functional. The articles comment on suggestions, but there is still a market for cereal in society, so there will still be a profit made off of cereal boxes, and they still work properly like how they were designed. The most useful improvement in terms of ergonomics would be to increase the size and thickness of the tab, and in addition, transforming the open slot tab style to the two interlocking tabs because it requires less effort to close the box and less frustration than accidentally ripping the slot or the tab when attempting to fit it inside the open slot in the original design.
Our redesign of the box lid will consist of one large triangular tab connected to the top rectangular portion of the top lid. This triangular tab will eliminate the multiple movements needed to open the bag and a number of human errors. It also keeps the food more fresh by remaining closed. To open our box, instead of making the user pull apart the top tab from an adhesive that runs the length of the top and risks a number of errors, our box will have a small adhesive strip along the front. Once the adhesive strip and edge is opened, the user will be able to lightly pull up and open the perforated edges, minimizing human errors. Our target audience includes everyone. This new design makes it much easier to securely seal the box, so it will be easier for the young to pour cereal for themselves and close the box properly, and not cause the cereal to go stale from not being sealed. Our cereal box design requires less tugging and adjusting than the traditional style box. Pulling one tab over the edge of the box and placing it into the slit is much easier than folding two short side tabs in, then securing two long tabs together in one slit. This closure mechanism will aid the elderly and those with arthritis or hand joint problems. This design will also benefit those who are annoyed with cereal boxes becoming unsealed. An unsealed cereal box will go stale much faster than a sealed one, causing frustration among customers. We hope our new design will solve these problems and appeal to those consumers.
This prototype for our cereal box was made in SolidWorks. As you can see, our triangular tab lifts up to reveal our sealed inside of the box. This triangular tab allows for an easier seal when putting cereal away.
As you just saw in the previous slides, our prototype calls for a major change to the opening and closing mechanism on a cereal box. However, we intend to keep our cereal box the same dimensions as one you could find on shelves today. This way we can maintain some level of customer familiarity and still be competitive in the quantity of cereal our boxes can hold. As you can see on the left-hand picture, the width of our box will be 8 inches, the height will be 12 inches tall, and the depth will be 2 inches. Now, if you take a look at the middle picture, you will see the intended change on our lid for the box. The rectangular portion will cover the entire top opening, and the triangular flap will fold over the front of the box and cover 5 inches in length. In order to prevent tearing and ripping, our front flap will have a tab at the very bottom that is 2 inches wide and can be inserted into the slot on the front of the box to keep everything closed and in place. Finally, the picture on the right shows why we chose the dimensions I just talked about. The front flap will be able to easily detach from the main box and open up to provide access for cereal pouring. As previously mentioned, not only will the outside of our box be undergoing a change, but the inside as well. Instead of the typical clear plastic bag that holds cereal, our box will have a silver lining made of polyethylene tetraphthalate metallized film, or better known as the silver lining inside of goldfish bags. This lining will cover the inside of our box as well as the top portion of our lid to ensure cereal stays fresh.
By looking through our ergonomics task analysis, we can determine that our new model for the cereal box is superior. There is less twisting of the wrist and movement of the hands, repetitive motion is minimized, and the new containers are easier to hold and close with less effort. Human error is minimized as the box is easier to open and close with less chances for error and tearing the box, while keeping the product fresh for a longer period of time.
When it comes to producing our redesigned cereal box, there are only a few changes to the process that will need to be made. The first change will occur in step 2, shaping. Instead of cutting the cardboard box to have 4 rectangular flaps at the top, the cardboard will be shaped to have the triangular lid I just talked about. The second change will be in step 5, gluing. Instead of just gluing on decals and logos, the new silver lining will also need to be glued down to the inside at this time. And lastly, since we no longer have to insert a separate bag, step 6 will be removed altogether. Overall, our process will still be extremely similar to the original manufacturing process. Now that I've gone over the changes in the manufacturing process, here are the changes in the manufacturing costs. Our new box will still require the same amount of cardboard since the original 4 flaps are being converted into the triangular lid. This puts the cardboard cost for both boxes at 10 cents since it costs 3 to 5 cents per pound of cardboard. Next is where we see the only place our cereal box differs in cost. Since we have switched to the lining rather than a bag, our box lining will cost 25 cents with materials and gluing, compared to the original 15 cents. Lastly, the boxes will have extras like decals, logos, and painting for finishing touches, and this cost will depend on the company's requirements. At minimum, this portion will cost at least 20 cents per box. Thus, in the end, our redesign has a minimum price of 55 cents a box, while the original design only cost 45 cents per box. While there is a price increase with our product, the overall ease of the product to use and longer lasting freshness of the cereal will make it worth the price.